Hello, welcome to part 3 of this series, all around a kind of behind the scenes of Stylist Live. I'm using that one particularly because it was 3 years ago as of now, and I actually did it on my birthday, so there were lots of good vibes, and my birthday's tomorrow. I'm recording this in advance if you haven't figured this out, because batch life is where it's up to. So today I want to talk about some of the practicalities of actually delivering the talk. I've got my trusty notes. Yes, I have. Number 1, show them, don't tell them. I made a decision that I needed to invest some money into getting this talk professionally filmed. It was too good an opportunity not to. Now, did it create more work? Did it bring more logistics that I had to think about that potentially could bring more stress to the day? It didn't, but absolutely. Was I willing to do it? Yes, I was, and I did, and I'm so glad that I did. But let me talk you through the process a little bit. So I went for this because I think in a world of a lot of people telling people, like, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Like, yeah, I'd be brilliant at that. Instead of showing people, I knew that if I could show my talk in all its glory and have it forever that I owned and not rely on stylists capturing it because they weren't actually going to film it on the day, I knew that I would have that valuable piece of information for my portfolio. And I always have to look at those things like, is this going to help me get closer to where I want to be? Is this going to allow me to have a yes that is much easier for somebody to give? And so making sure that I had this in my pocket that I could play with was going to be really key, because I knew that the stage itself would be great. I knew that I would probably have quite a big audience, not because I think I'm some kind of superstar, but it was a great timing. It was Friday afternoon. It was quite a compelling topic that lots of people would be interested in. It wasn't anything particularly niche, and I just knew that I had to do it. Then I came up with the not the grapple, but the conversation with myself of, am I willing to spend the money on this? And again, that is something that might hold somebody back for various reasons of like, what? How much is it going to cost for somebody to come with a film crew? And oh my goodness, like, wow, that's quite a lot of budget. And it was quite a lot of budget for me to pay up front before I had been paid for stylist, which I think was like 30 days after I did it. And it was an investment up front of saying, right, I'm serious and I'm going to pay that money and I'm going to do it properly and not just rely on some mate's pal who might have a camera or do it kindly on their phone. Like, no, this is about doing it properly. And it felt stretchy. It felt stretchy at the time to put that amount of money into a talk that I hadn't done yet and sign that off. And also trust myself that that was going to produce the result that I wanted, because who knows what might have happened. Like, it might have been too noisy in stylist, or something else might have happened, or you just don't know with these things. But I knew that I needed to do that. And I guess the second point on this is I knew that I had to optimize the opportunity. And again, there is a mindset shift with this as well, where we don't want to seem like we're grabby or taking advantage of the situation. And maybe I'm just talking from personal experience. Like, I don't want to be that person who's like, yeah, great. Oh, let's get stuck in. But I knew, like, it made business sense. Like, I knew, so I'm just adjusting in my seat because I am nearly 40. I knew it was a fantastic opportunity, and I knew that I had to get into the groove of it and be in the game of it. Number 3, when I was thinking, and I've spoken loads about this, so I'm not going to go into too much of like what makes a great talk and things like that. That is all in my Speak Up course if you're interested in joining that. But number 3, I made sure that I had a few almost like not one hit wonders, like crowd pleasers, I would say. So when I was looking at my talk, I was really making sure that it wasn't waffly or fluffy or indulgent or too kind of heavy in data or information. And so when I was looking at my slides and how I wanted to pull things together, I made sure that I used really powerful images, or there was a quote that I used by Tony Robbins about, because it was all about New Year's resolutions, basically, about most people had given up on their New Year's resolutions by something like February the 8th. And that was one of those quotes that when you put it up there, people go, oh yeah, that's me. Oh, I can see. And you can see people like looking at each, yeah, I do that as well. Yeah. So really, when you're thinking about your talk, really think about those pleasers that people are going to take something away from. So maybe this is a controversial fact. Maybe this is a quote. Maybe this is a picture of you that is quite, not shocking necessarily, but just make somebody focus, make somebody stop and stare. Make sure you've got enough of that enough juice, because then people will pull together the little bits from the scene. Like there are scenes, for example, in the film Dirty Dancing, that we all know if you've watched the film. And then there are other things where I know I go back and I watch it as an adult, I'm like, has this scene always been there? Like, I don't remember this at all. But time of your life, at the end, pretty much everyone of my generation knows all those dance routines. They know the lines, they know the things. That's what you're trying to build in terms of your talk, so people can quote it back to you almost and share it. And that's how you build that momentum. Number 4, communicate afterwards. I know there might be this sort of diva tendencies of like, right, I don't want to talk to anybody now. I've done my talk. I need to go and lie down in a darkened room. But sometimes people want to talk to you. In fact, most of the time, people want to share. People want to, and it's not even coming from a like, people want to do a meet and greet. But I knew at that point, like a lot of people had listened to the podcast for a long time, and people had come or was familiar with my work because of the podcast. So go and have a chat with people. Go and have a conversation. Make sure you've got that time. Don't rush off. And obviously, don't put yourself in a situation that you don't feel comfortable with. But it's really lovely if you get to actually meet people and have a conversation. Number 5, continue to be useful. This is going to be really key when you're putting together your talk. Again, I talk about this in Speak Up all the time. Really think about that call to action of what people are going to do next. So if you recommend a book recommendation, for example, don't just say it, like have a slide with it written on so somebody can go, oh, I'm going to take a photo of that and I'm going to do it. Those sorts of things are going to be really useful, because especially when you're doing speaking talks, the time can go so fast and people are in it and they're watching, and then there's so much stuff to absorb. So see if you can make it useful. Maybe create a page on your website afterwards, which is going to share all the resources that you talked about. Or maybe you have something specific for that audience, a call to action, a discount, some FAQs, some additional resources, whatever it might be. Make it easy, because again, this could be a really great opportunity for you to grow your audience. People are, especially if they've connected with you and they really like what you're saying. I know it's the first thing that I do, like, oh, great. What else have they got? If I've listened to somebody on a podcast or I've gone to a speaking gig, if I like them, if I resonate with their message, I want more. And so I don't want to go through all kinds of different links. I want it clear and simple and really easy to digest. So don't underestimate that. I've also talked many times about maybe growing clients from that opportunity. So there was a talk that I did a little while ago where I had, I think, 85 or 95 people in a room. And because I saw all the signups in advance, I looked through them like, oh, I wonder if there's anyone I know or anyone I've worked with. And I looked at the signups and I didn't know anyone. I didn't recognize any of the names. They were all absolutely brand new to me and me to them. And that was really fascinating for me, because from that audience, there were so many new potential people that I could help and that I could work with or could listen to the podcast. And so make it easy, support people, because whilst they're in that situation of being open, of wanting to know more, help them out, because you might just be the person who can change the direction of the next part of their life or their business. So I'm going to take a deep breath, because I've shared a lot in that one. If you haven't listened to part 1 and 2, do go back. There's videos, there's podcasts, all that good stuff. If you're interested in that masterclass, go to nikkiraby.com. It is on my main page, or you can go to the freebie section as well. And if you're ready to join Speak Up, please do so. You will make that money back very, very quickly in terms of speaking gigs. I priced it at a point where I knew that it was going to give you that return on investment very, very quickly. So I look forward to helping you, to welcoming you, and yeah, let's do this. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.